जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना। यमुनातीरावनचारी। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Jaya Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jamishpad Param Parviraj Kastotis Divine Grace Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Acharya PPT founder Acharya saved the whole world Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki वृंददेव तुलसी महारानी की ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री श्री कृष्णा रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की श्री श्री निताय गौरंग की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदने ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, entitled Creation, Chapter 7, The Son of Drona Punished. Text number 38 and 39. So 38th verse I'll read by myself and 39 we'll chant together. प्रतिश्रुतं च भवता पाञ्चाल्यै शृण्वतो मम आहरिष्ये शिरस्तस्या Yaste Manini Putraha. Translation by His Divine Grace, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Furthermore, I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. 39th verse, we'll chant together. Tad asau vadhyatam papa tadasau vadhyatam papa tadasau vadhyatam papa atatayi atma bandhu ha atatayi atma bandhu ha atatayi atma bandhu ha bhartush cha vipriyam वीरा भर्तुश्च विप्रियं वीरा भर्तुश्च विप्रियं वीरा कृतवान् Kula Pamsanaha Kritavan Kula Pamsanaha Kritavan Kula Pamsanaha Tadaso Vadyatham Papa Atatai Atma Bandhuha Bhartusya Vipriyam Veera Kritavan Kula Pamsanaha Tadaso Vadyatham Papa Atatai Atma Bandhuha Bhartusya Vipriyam Veera Kritavan Kula Pamsanaha Tadaso Vadyatham Papa Atatai Atma Bandhuha Bhartusya Vipriyam Veera Kritavan Kula Pamsanaha
Tadasu vadyatam papam
Tadaso Vadyatham Papa
Atatayi atma bandhuha
Atatai Atma Bandhuha
Bhartu cha vipriyam veera
Bhartusya Vipriyam Veera
Kritavan kulapam sanaha
Tadasau vadyatam papa Atatai atma bandhuha Bhartusha vipriyam veera Kritavan kulapam sanaha
Tadaso vadyatam papa
Tadaso Vadyatham Papa
Atatayi atma bandhuha
Atatai Atma Bandhuha
Bhartashuta vipriyam veera Kritavan kulapam sanaha
Tadasau vadyatam papa Atatai atma bandhuha Bhartuscha vipriyam veera Kritavan kulapam sanaha.
Synonyms. Tat, therefore. Also, this man, Vadhyatham, will be killed. Papaha, the sinner. Atatayi, assaulter. Atma, own. Bandhuha, killer of sons. Bhartuhu, of the master. Cha, also. Vipriyam, having not satisfied. Veera, O warrior. Kritavan, one who has done it. Kulapam Sanaha, the burnt remnants of the family. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. Translation with repetition. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. Purport by His Divine Grace of Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. The good name of Dronacharya was very much respected. Although he joined the enemy camp, the Pandavas held him always in respect. And Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. There was nothing wrong in that way. But the son of Dronacharya degraded himself by committing acts which were never done by the Dvijas or the twice born higher caste. Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, by which he dissatisfied his master Duryodhana, who never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. This means that Ashwatthama became an assaulter of Arjuna's own family members, and thus he was liable to be punished by him. In the Shastras, he who attacks without notice or kills from behind or sets fire to another house or kidnaps one's wife is condemned to death. Krishna reminded Arjuna of these facts so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport for this verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter we are discussing about the son of Drona is punished. So the background for these verses are that the sages of Naimisharanya wanted to know how this Srimad Bhagavatam has spoken in the beginning. So in that course, they wanted to know about Parikshit and his birth and his activities. So in doing so, the Suta Goswami explaining the history of the Pandavas and the proceedings, how did Parikshit took birth, and he is the only successor of the Kuru dynasty or the same Pandava dynasty. So all of us know that they all belong to the single family called Kuru dynasty. So even though Dhritarashtra was elder than Pandu, because Pandu was made king because Dhritarashtra was born blind. So according to the Shastras, if somebody is not able to see, he cannot be made as king. So in that way, Pandu was made king. So further, Pandu got 5 sons. That's why they are called Pandavas. So Pandavas supposed to, the eldest of the Pandavas is Yudhishthira, Dharmaraj. So he is supposed to become king. But they are very, very, in the sense, they are just born, so they are very, very young. They could not enthrone the throne immediately because Pandu passed away in an early age. So interim king was made by the ministry, and Dhritarashtra became an interim king so that he can take care of the kingdom. And meanwhile, Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki Shri Thakuran ki Vishweshwara Prabhupada. So meanwhile, let the Pandavas grow and be educated in all the arts of military and other education. So till that time, Dhritarashtra was made king, the interim king. But Dhritarashtra has a grudge that I could not become king because of my natural defect. So at least if my son, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, who is the eldest son of Dhritarashtra? So at least Duryodhana becomes king, I will be happy. So in that way, he was fondling, or he was encouraging Duryodhana to learn all the arts and become eligible for king. So he was, and Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana also had evil mind because he want to enjoy the kingdom. He want to take up the kingdom from the Pandavas' hand. So from the very childhood, Duryodhana is plotting against Pandavas. How we can actually Dhritarashtra wanted to make his son as king, but he did not want to harm the Pandavas. But Duryodhana is so evil-minded that he want to eliminate the existence of Pandavas together, so that there is no obstacle for him to become the successor. So that is the Duryodhana's plan. So like this, so many difficulties enforced upon Pandavas by Duryodhana and his troops, and then they gave a lot of trouble. They built a house with lac, and they wanted to burn all the Pandavas in the house, and they gave poison to Bhima, and they played a, what do you call that, gambling match, and they were thrown out of the inn. So the Pandus, what happened was this Dhritarashtra gave land Kandava Prastha, which is actually barren land. So because Pandavas grown up, so they also wanted kingdom. So they went and approached, give me kingdom back. So Dhritarashtra allotted a piece of land which is actually barren. So did not think, okay, whatever allotted, let us go there and rule, make a kingdom and rule. So because of Maya Danava, Krishna gave advice to Maya Danava to build a Indraprastha there. So that barren land became very wealthy and filled with prosperity. So Duryodhana became envious of even the allotted land which given to Pandu. So he wanted to commit suicide. So Pandavas became very successful in leading a prosperous life and ruling very nicely. Then Shakuni gave advice. So don't die immediately. So we can send the Pandavas outside of whole kingdom, and we can make them go away from the kingdom itself. So he advised Dhritarashtra to call for a gambling match. So in that match, Shakuni used all his tactics, and Pandavas were made to lose. So they were sent out for 12 years or 13 years forest, 1 year for incognito. So like this, so many difficulties they underwent. Then finally, they have successfully completed the Vanvas, and they came back to Dhritarashtra and asked for kingdom back, that we have successfully completed our this gambling match. Whatever was the pledge we took, we completed successfully. So please give us at least 5 villages to rule us. So Duryodhana refused even that also. So then finally the Kurukshetra war was evident, or it's provident now. So in that Kurukshetra war, the whole world was divided into 2 armies. One is Pandavas army and one is Kauravas army. So now, Arjuna. So now in the Bhagavad Gita also, the same verse what Krishna is using here in this current verse, 39th verse, Atatai. So when Arjuna noticed the opposite army, so he saw his own relatives and friends and teachers are there, but still there are opposing elements like Duryodhana. They're all Atataina. Even though the teachers and the grandfather, they may not be Atataina, but because they are grouped with the Kauravas army. So Arjuna explains in the 36th verse, Papam evashraya dasman hatvaitan atatainaha. So sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressor. Therefore, even though they're aggressor, so Arjuna is not ready to kill them. Just like we have the pastime of Lord Rama. So where even though Rama is also very saintly king, so Arjuna is also very saintly king, but Atatai Ravana, what he did, he kidnapped Rama's wife Sita Devi. So Rama has to take the countermeasure of killing that aggressor. So for that heinous act, Rama went and fought with Ravana and killed Ravana and his whole kingdom of whole warriors. So that is the great history of Ramayana. So here also Arjuna is supposed to do the same. Even though Arjuna is also soft-hearted and a devotee of Krishna, but still, because in the case of Rama, the Ravana was an outside person. He is not belong to his own family. But when in case of Arjuna, the aggressor are his own relatives. So in that way, Arjuna is showing compassion to the such aggressors. So in the same purport, Prabhupada explains. So according to Vedic injection, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. One, a poisoner, a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressor is quite befitting for any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not ordinary man. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. So this kind of saintliness, however, is not fit for a Kshatriya. So Arjuna, even though he is seeing the aggressors, he is not taking so seriously because he is thinking in terms of his own relatives. So after that, the Kurukshetra war was evident, and the war is about to begin. The fight is about to begin. Then here Prabhupada is explaining that. So here is the context where we are discussing about Dronacharya in son. So here Prabhupada explains, Krishna says, the son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. Because Dronacharya was very, very exalted soul, and he was very much respected in the society. But his son became so heinous and so degraded himself by associating with the Duryodhana. So that's what there is a saying, that we are what we associate with. If we associate with bad association, we become bad. So similarly, Ashwatthama had associated with Duryodhana, he became degraded himself from the Brahmanical qualities. So because Arjuna is saintly and he had all good qualities, so he respected Dronacharya even though he was fighting against him, fighting against Pandavas. So what he did before fight? So he offered his obeisances. Krishna, Prabhupada is telling that Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. So what did he do? Arjuna released an arrow and placed near the lotus feet of Dronacharya. As an indication of, I am paying obeisances unto you. And in return, Dronacharya released the arrow and it just touched head of Arjuna, indicating that I am blessing you. So you have the blessings to kill me. So that is the relation between Arjuna and Dronacharya. So that is the quality of relationship, even though they are opposing each other. So that is the saintliness of Arjuna and Dronacharya. But when we speak about his son, Dronacharya's son, Ashwatthama, so Prabhupada says he is the burnt remnants of his family. He was not at all glorified, not at all worthy to be respected because he has done all heinous activities. He is like, even though Dronacharya passed away after the war, so the further his son Ashwatthama is like a burnt remnants of his family. He is living, but because of his heinous acts, he is condemned. He is no more respected. So that is the context where, so after that, the war was over and Duryodhana was lying on his deathbed, and so the Ashwatthama very hastily he wanted to do something whimsically, and he went again and he wanted to please his master Duryodhana, and he went and beheaded 5 sleeping sons, and he brought the 5 heads of the sleeping sons of the Pandavas to Duryodhana, where he was about to pass away. So when he noticed these are also 5 sons of Pandavas, he was not at all satisfied. He was actually filled with grief. Yes, in that grief, he passed away. So when Ashwatthama did this hastily, oh, I have to do something, everything is over. Now I have to please my master. So I did whimsically something, and it became, even his master was not satisfied, and he became very, very condemned because of this act. So that's what Krishna is telling here. This man is assassin, murder of his own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. His master refers Duryodhana here. So Ashwatthama dissatisfied Duryodhana. So Prabhupada is explaining the same thing. So this is not at all befitting to these kind of acts. for a person who is born in a Brahminical family, that too son of Dronacharya. So that's why in the previously he was called Brahma Bandhu. He is not even called as Brahmana, twice born Brahmana. So Krishna is telling this Atatai, so you should, Krishna is advising Arjuna to kill him. In the previous verse, Krishna is telling, furthermore, I have heard personally you promised that uh, Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. So that in the previous 16th verse of this chapter, after this incidents of Ashwatthama beheading the king, 5 sleeping sons, Arjuna says to Draupadi when they were all crying. So Arjuna, who is guided by the, Arjuna addresses Draupadi, "Oh gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana, after beheading him with arrows from my Gandiva bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning our sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head." So, Krishna heard this statement, and so after when they got to know that Ashwatthama killed and they were all grief stricken, so then Arjuna promised this, and we went chasing against Ashwatthama. So in that also, when Ashwatthama's horse fell with thirstiness and they could not move, so in a fear of life, in a hastily, Ashwatthama released Brahmastra. And to counter, Arjuna has to take advice and follow Krishna's instruction and counteract the Brahmastra. Then all that is neutralized. Now Ashwatthama is in the hands of Arjuna. So he was just caught. He is no more fighting. So now Krishna is advising or imploring Arjuna to take necessary action, and Krishna is reminding what and all he has done, and what Arjuna promised. So this in the future verses we know how did Arjuna acted, or Arjuna took the decision, and whether he immediately killed or not, what he did do, that is explained in the next verse. So this act of Ashwatthama doing whimsically to please his master is condemned here. So, but while Arjuna is not taking decision immediately, that okay, he is Atatai, I have to kill him immediately. No. So Arjuna is considering, so what should be taken the right. So even though Krishna is imploring, Arjuna is not acting whimsically. He is taking all the arguments from the Krishna, and he is assimilating and trying to act. He is not acting instinctively. He is not behaving like Ashwatthama. So like pure devotees, they act under the direction of the Supreme Lord or the bona fide spiritual master, while others who don't have the guidance of spiritual master, they act whimsically. Whatever pleases their senses, they want to act. After that, they are condemned, or they become entangled in the materialistic life, or they become sinful. So the lesson from this verse is that we have to act always under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, or according to the Shastras. And we have to please that way. Then only the Supreme Lord is pleased. So if you act whimsically, and if you present the results to the master, that never satisfy the master. So we have to act what master says, and if you do the same thing, then the spiritual master is satisfied. Similarly, we also daily sing Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado. So if you please spiritual master by following his instructions, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, then Supreme Lord is pleased. So we have to take care in following the orders of the spiritual master and diligently follow, and we have to develop our actions always guided by the spiritual master and Shastras. Then we can actually please. If you do whimsically, okay, I know I have devotion in my heart, so whatever I do, that is pleasing. No, we have to follow the spiritual master's direction, and and we have to read Prabhupada's books and understand what is devotion actually means, and what pleases Srila Prabhupada. And if you just follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction and please spiritual master, then automatically the Supreme Lord Krishna is also pleased. So, hastily, whimsically, if you act, it becomes entanglement for us. So it is also said, haste is the mother of grief. So there is a very nice story where a king he nurtured a hawk to support his ruling and in the hunting or in fighting and all those things. So they all went in an expedition. So the hawk also went along with them. So in the due course of journey, it was a desert. So the king felt thirsty. So he wanted to drink water. So he saw nothing was there. So he went ahead. There was a hill and there is a small water drops are falling, flickering from the top of the this one. So he stopped there and he wanted to satisfy his thirst. So he got down from his chariot and he had a silver bowl to collect water because it's not flowing. So he wanted to accumulate water and then drink. So by that time the honk, it's like a family of Garuda. So he flew and he was actually sitting on the shoulder of king. So he flew top and went ahead and observing what's around. So this man, the king was collecting the water, and when it is filled, he was about to drink. So that honk came immediately and hit his hand, and the whole bowl of water fell down. Okay, anyway, it is my own bird. So I should not take seriously. So he again waited and again collected the water. So again, he is about to drink. Again, from the hill the bird came again, hit the hand of the king. Again, the water fell. And third time also, he was okay. He warned, if you again hit, I'm feeling very thirsty. I will kill you. Like that, he warned the hawk. So okay, the bird did not reply. So he again waited for collecting the water. It filled. So again, he was about to drink, and he was holding the knife, showing, if you touch, again I'll kill. So still the bird came and hit the hand of the king, and king became angry because he's feeling thirsty. So he killed the honk. So then, by mistake, the bowl, he was about to again, because he was not dissatisfied with the bird, he killed the bird. So what he did, he wanted to again collect the water. So there was some crack was there. The bowl for collection, it fell because of the bird hit. So he could not collect the water again. So he thought, okay, let me go to the top of the hill and see the source of the water, and let me quench my thirst. So he climbed the hill, and surprisingly he noticed a small pond. There is not much water, but there is a poisonous cobra is there, and it is releasing poison in that water. So that bird noticed, because he went to the top, and basically it's trained to observe the opposite army and give information. So like that, the bird went on the top of the hill and noticed some poisonous snake is there, and the water is mixed with poison. So when king wanted to drink the water, the bird noticed the cobra or the poisonous snake, and it was obstructing to save the life of king. So but in hastily, what king did, he did not understand the bird's protection for the king. So he hastily took a action which unnecessarily killed the bird. But actually the bird was savior of his life. So if you hastily act, these kinds of repercussions will act. So we should whimsically should not do any activity and punish or become angry with anybody. So we have to act according to the Shastras, and we have to study the purpose and instruction, how our behavior should be and how our action should be molded in our life. Then we can actually lead a peaceful life. So similarly, so we have to develop discriminative power, and we should not act whimsically, hastily, and become aggressor like Ashwatthama. But we have to be guided by the spiritual master and Supreme Lord from his instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and learn all good qualities, and not come under the bad association, and be always in the association of the devotees and let the good manners and behave in a Vaishnava etiquettes, then our life becomes successful, and in this very life we can go back to Godhead by following sincerely the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. We'll stop with this. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.